welcome. We have three women, three stages of life in motherhood and business, a roller coaster of laughs, lessons, and loud opinions that just may turn into a true crime podcast at the end of this. So let's introduce everybody. We have Keira.
Hello.
Keira is part of this crazy team. We have Nikki.
Hi.
And I am Tammy. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If I can actually speak right again. If I can get started, let's go ahead and since we all are from three different stages in life, let me go ahead and mention that. So Nikki, you have younger children, been in business for a few years. Keira, you've been in business a few more years and have children that are still
A
in
little bit
high
older, yeah.
school.
15 years.
I've been in business for a few years.
Come on, Tammy, say it.
How long, Tammy? How long?
20 years. And my kids are college graduates. So this is some interesting and fun stuff from three different stages of life in business and in life. So we're going to go ahead and get started on some mommy stuff. So in this season of motherhood, Nikki, I'm going to start with you on this question.
Oh, gosh.
What's one thing that keeps you up at night in your current season of motherhood?
Currently, my kids.
I know, but what about them? What about them? They're kids.
Hey, I'm thirsty. I'm wide awake. I want to watch a show. And it's like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, so put them to bed. What the hell are your kids doing up at 1 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
No clue. And then some days they sleep all night long and they'll sleep till 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, they get up during the night. You put them to bed down. They get up.
No, I put them to bed early. Well,
They
7:30, 8
wait.
o'clock. And
thought you were gonna be
then
one of
they're
the party mom says, "Hey, come hang out with me till 1:30 in the morning." No, okay.
Are you doing anything to like help prevent that, Nikki, for them to wake up? Like, have you explored what that might be?
So we have now I have noticed, of course, on the days like we're go, go, go all day long, no rest time, no sitting around watching movies or anything.
Yeah.
They will sleep completely through the night. But let's be realistic, that's not gonna happen every day.
That's right.
Yeah.
Those
So
where they
on the
have
days we're not busy, they're up like extremely early.
Because
the
they're
next
pretty
day.
much resting through the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they haven't expended enough energy.
That
How
makes-
about you, Keira?
What's keeping me up at night?
Here, I have to know yours. Like that's got to
Oh,
be.
man. For one thing, my daughter's heading into senior year. So we got the college stuff ahead of us, and my son's going through puberty. So, it's been
That's all
it is
different stages of life here,
interesting.
man.
It is
I need yours, so
interesting
it's gonna be
time.
interesting.
Yeah. And so my husband will say things like, what really worries me about Kyla going off to college is some guy. Like, what if she gets into some fuckboy? Or what if like somebody grabs her? And I'm like, honestly, please, I'm already losing sleep over this.
Shut up.
Like,
Just keep that in your mind. Just keep
out.
that in
yeah,
here.
like I'm already losing sleep over this. Please do not make it worse because we are talking about the tuition and where she's going and how, how we're going to make all of this work. And so it's kind of like, I've got that, but then I've also got how's she going to make it work? How's she going to navigate it? And
Yeah.
so just the busyness of this season through with my kids has been like, oh my gosh. Thankfully, I have very, very good children, but motherhood it's
It's
tough.
a lot. And I remember being at that stage, but the line of communication was always strong.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of that, a lot
Yes.
of that went in. Like, I remember my son telling me that, gosh, most of my friends only talk to their parents once or twice a week, where they would call me 3 times,
Yeah.
3 times a day, whether they were needed something or just talk, just because we always had an open communication,
Yeah.
I give them shit.
My mom and I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still get grief from me. It's not as if they don't. So those will just be quicker conversations.
Well, see,
But
it's funny because I did talk to my mom every day, but we didn't have the closeness that I have with my kids. I feel very fortunate that they're very open. They feel like they can tell me things. But I started, them pretty young saying, hey, if you want to do something, let's have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
I know I'm a realist. I know that you're gonna do things.
So let's talk
Same
about
way
it.
with
Let's talk about
Blakely right now.
it.
And
Mhm.
And I
she's
will
only
tell you
4.
those trackers on their cars,
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Oh,
And their
not their
phones.
phones. They actually remove the ones from their
They do.
phones.
They'll pause it. Life 360s pause.
Yeah, they took those off immediately. But I do have it on the car,
Yep.
which has come in handy when my son calls me and says, "Can't find my car. Can you call me? Can you look and see
Oh
where
my
it is?"
gosh.
Oh, because you parked in a tow zone?
I love that. I'm actually, you know what? That is a really good call. I think I'm going to do that. Kyla actually got her car back today.
Yay.
We're thrilled.
So I use the hum, which actually even told me when my son's car was going to break down.
Yeah.
So I was like, really pull over, let's get that thing looked at, let's get it checked, because it'll tell you how fast they're going, how they're doing when they're driving,
That's
what
what I
they
need.
are, how the car's
Yep.
functioning, if there's an issue, which I needed. They were in Chicago
Yeah.
and I'm in South
Yeah.
Carolina. So that
Well,
was
that's
kind of
kind
like,
of, that's, and I think that distance, and I'm
oh,
going, I know
yeah.
it's a year, but that year's going to go so fast.
And become friends with their friends. Get their
Yeah,
number. 'Cause if you don't hear from them, you can just text and say,
I
hey,
do.
have you talked? Yeah,
I do.
that's the best. That's the
It's funny because they all call me Kira's modern desk. They're like, hey, Kira's modern desk. And I'm like,
best.
so
Why?
funny. And they all follow me on Instagram.
Those are the tricks of the trade.
That's it. That's it. What about you, Tammy? What's keeping you up at night?
So mine's on the other end. So mine are now, one of them is home and he's doing his final internship. Well, he's actually working for the whole year. So it was pretty cool because I had rented him an apartment for a couple years while he was interning for the summers. Now that he's done with college, he'd actually met friends in Greenville and they just got an apartment, figured it out on their own. I mean, I wasn't even a co-signer, took care of it all. He got a letter from his boss. It was amazing to not have to be involved in that
There you
process.
go.
I know. So he's working for the year and he already has law schools that have accepted him. So he's just waiting to apply this September to get the most scholarships, see where he wants to go, the best options. So he's okay. But I worry about the girl factors, making sure nothing happens and I'm clear on I don't want to be a grandmom at the young age of whatever it is. So that's where I am, making sure that, just finish college, let's get a job, let's enjoy life, and then let's think about the stage 2, stage 3. So
Yes,
that's where I am.
definitely.
Yes.
The drinking I have to watch, the partying I have to
Yeah.
watch. However, they're not too much on the partying, but when the friends come around, they do have a few drinks now and then. But
Yeah.
they're good kids too, but you still worry about the drinking and driving. We have a strict Uber rule. I mean, we've kind of set all these boundaries when they were younger and going to college.
Yeah.
I'm very clear about you can
Mhm.
spend whatever you want on that Uber just as long as you are not driving and drinking. And
Amen to that.
That's
if you
exactly
see a
right.
friend who is in that position, you send them home in an Uber. Don't let a friend or anybody get in a car.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
that.
That is one thing my mom always told me, which I never did this anyway, but she's like, if you go out and you get drunk, pick up the phone and call me. Like, I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care what time, like, pick up the phone. I'd rather
Nobody
deal
wants to
with,
call their mama though nowadays, so they'd
I know.
rather call an Uber.
I
Yeah,
would.
but I'll tell you, I mean, it would change everything. It would change our entire relationship because I just think my disappointment would be so great if they did. Like they know because you can call me, you can call an Uber, like you have the resources. You
That's
don't
what you just
have
had to
to.
make clear. And I have seen that. I've seen, well, because you see the bills come through in the credit card and there's the Ubers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at
Just
least
be
I know I'm
safe,
following it.
you know?
Exactly.
Well, now too, I think it is scary them going out and partying because it's not like when we were young, like when
Yeah.
drugs were clean. The drugs aren't clean anymore. They're lacing everything.
Was for
Like,
girls because they've
yeah,
got don't take drinks, don't be alone with a group of guys, make sure you are
exactly.
buddy. I mean, I think
Didn't
there's
do this in college. Like, I was
yeah,
terrified. I was
rule.
terrified. When I saw my roommate, her and a couple other girls were going to a party, a frat party. She put on 2 belts on her pants just to make sure that nothing happened to her.
Yeah.
I'm like, that, like, if I have to do
It's
that,
eye-opening.
nope, nope.
It's
I'll be right
scary.
here when you get home.
It is
Yeah.
scary. I was roofied in downtown Orlando, and it will knock you. I mean, I had one drink. Luckily, nothing happened to me. And I was
Yeah.
dating my husband at the time, and he came and picked me up.
Hmm.
But I mean, one drink, and I completely forgot the whole night, pretty
Yeah,
much.
I've gone out with girls in Boston and gotten
Yeah.
drinks from the bartender because it was the
Yep.
Yeah.
end of the night and it was from the bartender. But
Yep.
again, I was
Yeah.
with friends, so you just never leave yourself alone
That's
and
it.
just different rules apply. And those were back in the days. These were
Yeah.
80s for me, 80s, 90s for me.
Yeah. But it's so crazy. I
It's
mean, you think
scarier
about it
now.
now. I mean, you see all these kids are ODing, fentanyl overdose. You know,
Yeah, sex traffic
it's
I mean,
terrifying.
I'm sure we had it back then. I'm not saying we didn't, but it just seems
So
a
heavy now.
mainstream of
I can
economy
guarantee
for
you, if something happened like that to my kids, this will turn it to it.
Yeah.
it's just scary the things you got to
That's
watch
a
out.
promise.
And Nikki, I remember my kids at your age, like even when we went to a
Hmm.
store,
Yeah.
Yep.
like I literally didn't let them out of my sight.
Nope.
Just do the
No,
same thing
you
until they grab.
can't.
And
Yeah.
I seriously don't, I hardly ever go to the store with both of them by myself because I am
Put them in the
terrified.
car. Put them in the car.
Yes.
The Walmart
So I
cars,
put them
whatever you
in the car first. I lock the car. I go and put them, and I always park beside of a buggy. Is
So
it
you
a
can get the
buggy,
Mm-hmm.
carousel, whatever? And that way I can just put the buggy back and I unlock the car, get in it, lock it back. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Mm.
It's
right,
so
but it's
ridiculous.
here we are today. But I mean, everybody can be safe. I just think you have to be aware of the precautions, having great communication with your kids the best you can. They're not always going to want to talk to you. But if you give them other people to reach out to, like it was great because I had such a village for my kids with extended coaches, trainers, friends, adults. So there was always somebody that they could call, even if it wasn't me. But we did have a great relationship, and more often
Even
than
now, like
Yeah.
I was saying before, I do this with Blakely because she will come to me. She's like, Mommy, can I tell you something? It's like, of course you can tell me anything. Like, what's on your mind? And she's like, I accidentally did something. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. We'll clean it up or we'll get it off the floor. I think it was a sticker that she had accidentally put on the floor instead of her paper. I was like, baby, that's fine. But thank you for telling me. But I'm like, you can always tell me whatever, because you can tell she was nervous about telling me. She thought she was going to be in trouble. And I'm like, no. And I'm sitting there thinking, gosh, how this conversation is going to escalate the older
Oh,
she
yeah,
gets.
yeah,
I will
yeah,
never forget Dexter, he's gonna kill me. I think
yeah.
he's gonna kill me. But he was like 7, and he used to watch YouTube on his iPad. And one day he came in and he's like, I have to tell you something. I think I sinned. And I was like, what did you do? He had found this YouTube girl who had big boobs, and he was watching her
Oh,
videos. He was like, he really thought he did something so bad. He's like, I sinned. And I'm like,
Uh,
bless
you're
his
just a
heart.
boy. Yeah.
well, hopefully
Yeah.
nobody else hears this because my kid, I remember when he was like 13, he got invited out to like a, sleepover with a bunch of boys. And I always said, call me if you're ever uncomfortable, if something's,
Hmm.
so he had called me to come pick him up. I'm like, which is kind of rare. I'm like, oh, okay, I came and got you. And so we're on the way back. I'm like, everything okay? He's like,
What
Everything okay?
happened?
what is like, what there was some girls on the computer that they were all looking at. He's like, and I didn't like it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Ah,
Oh, see, we didn't have that. I mean, maybe we did, but
no,
no, 80s. No, I'm sorry. We
no,
just
no. I
so
think it was my maybe like sophomore year that,
oh,
we were in dial-up, and you had to go to
yeah.
like places like Napster if you were looking. Like, I mean, it was a different time. It
You
was a
don't even have to
different.
tell that the bees. They just go and Google it. I'm like, oh my God.
It's
That's the
insane.
stuff. That's the
Yeah.
scary stuff
Yeah,
right there.
it is.
All that they have
Oh,
access to now.
We have plenty to keep us up at night, ladies.
I think I'm going down a
you're
wrong
not
road.
kidding.
switch questions. Let's hope the next question isn't so bad. So we'll start with you, Kira. How has your definition of a good mom changed from when you started to where you are now?
Oh, I 100%. It is when I thought I had to be there all the time. I had to
Yes.
show up to everything. And I realized that in doing that, I was actually hurting them because I wasn't teaching them how to give yourself grace and that it's okay
That's a
to
good
give
one.
yourself love and to do the things that you need to do and show up for yourself.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
good one.
because I showed up for everything, and I think that they really learned to take advantage of that instead of, appreciating my presence. I was
Right.
there
Right.
volunteering for anything,
Yeah,
paying
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so now it's like, I'm so sorry I'm not going to make that concert. I have a business trip. And they've had to learn to get used to mom may or may not be there.
Oh, there
And
we go.
That doesn't
so,
mean somebody else couldn't be there, but you
yeah,
specifically.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, because I really thought, I thought being there and showing up made me a good mom, which at the time it served its purpose. And I've always been a good mom, but
Yeah.
it was a lesson that I had to learn that it is okay to not show up. You don't have to show up to everything.
And there's none of this motherhood that comes with a rule book. I don't care who writes what. Every kid, every family, every situation is
It's all
different.
different. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dynamic
Absolutely.
family, everything is different.
Yeah.
So,
And I did something terrible. I'll give you guys an example. Do not judge me. Okay. So my daughter middle school was terrible. We were so glad to get out of middle school.
middle school is
And
so
girls are awful.
it
Girls
is. Oh, it was worse. It was terrible for my kids. I don't know what it is.
at
Middle
middle
school.
school. It's
Oh,
awful. So
awful.
she had a terrible eighth grade experience where she had this boyfriend. She really liked him, and the guy was a jerk. And so we were really not wanting her to date, but we didn't want to say no because we knew she would rebel and do it anyway. So
Yeah.
it's okay. She can do this thing. Well, the guy broke up with her. She was devastated, and some of the girls were really nasty to her and kind of picked on her. And so one day she had a bunch of friends over and they're all on Snapchat and this girl threatens her. And so I said, okay, let's go over. See what she's going to do about it. And I show up at the girl's house.
Oh, yeah, I've done that stuff.
And but I felt like in the moment, it was like, I'm going to take up for my daughter. But
Mhm.
after it's like, it might not have been the best move.
That's a
Like
tough one, though, because like the threatening thing is such a tough one.
it
It's a
is. It's like,
tough one because
like
you're
you're,
not
You're
sure
gonna be
what to
like,
do.
"Okay, bring it home."
Because
Like,
if you don't do anything,
yeah.
then what? I mean, it's
Well,
it's a catch 22.
exactly. Well, I mean, the girls knew after that, like, okay,
Right.
don't mess with her 'cause she's got to be the next mom,
That's crazy.
But at the same time, it's like,
Your mama crazy. Yeah, I had the
that
crazy
sounds
level. I'm
crazy.
sure I still do, which is
Yeah,
fine. Which
I'm
is fine.
definitely the crazy mom. And my mom was kind
That's
of the
okay.
crazy mom. My mom was kind of the crazy mom too.
Yeah,
You know?
I was okay with that.
Yeah.
I would have done the
We're that
same thing.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I did. I was like, let's go. And I drove. I think they were like 30 minutes away. And I was like, all right, girls. And I took all those girls in the car and I said, let's go.
I told him, let's
You're
go.
going to do it? Let's do it.
I used to wait till they got to my house when they were made up, and then I would just slightly kind of go, "Oh, do you remember that silly time when?" And their whole body would go white.
Mom, it's kind of like my mom, but my mom, she called another mom one day, and because this girl, she came, you guys, it was so disgusting. She had poop in a bag and she put it on my car.
For
Like,
what?
first of all, the fact that you did that is disgusting. But my mom called her mom and was like, if your daughter comes back to my house, rest assured, my husband will be sitting on the porch with a shotgun. And that was it. It was the end of that friendship. There was no making up because my
No
mom
more
was not
friendship.
having it.
It was not. That's what I
Yeah.
said. So we just come from crazy levels of mothers. So
Yeah. So I think, I mean, while we
bad.
think we're being good moms, at the same time, we look back and go, ooh,
Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel ya. I
Impulse.
feel ya.
Yeah.
How about you, Nikki?
I think, when I was pregnant the first time, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like like their parties are gonna be fabulous, and we're gonna have all these activities every day, and I'm gonna be like the Pinterest mom, and all of their cute little plates are gonna be made like their pancakes are gonna be animals every morning, and this
Oh
and
my
that. And I'm
God.
like,
Uh-huh.
now you get an Eggo or a breakfast
And
bar,
Stepford
or
wives. You love that. Stepford wives, huh?
and I'm like, and sometimes I do think back and think, how in the God's green earth did I ever think that I would ever be? Like, that's not realistic. It's not
Think we all
whatsoever.
have those
And then I
ideas.
think social
Being the
media makes
perfect
it
mom.
worse.
And you sound, and maybe you stem because you sound like your mom was a great mom too. So
Yeah,
maybe she made it look easy. Who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe. And now I'm like, I mean, of course, their Christmases, their holidays, their birthdays are very similar to what I had.
Right.
But everyday life things, I think I made up in my head of, oh, we're going to do these kind of activities. I'm going to make all these little activities for Blakely to start learning her letters. And like my Pinterest
Perfect
board is
mama.
ridiculous. Ever since I had Sawyer, I have not looked back at that Pinterest board.
because it's exhausting.
And
It's
I'm like, and how
exhausting.
much money it takes to do that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, 100%.
And
I
I'm
Yeah.
like,
mean,
my kids are so
it's
picky
crazy.
eaters. Like, there's no way I'm going to all that trouble to make this cute little aquarium charcuterie board thing
That
and
they're not
then
going to
not
eat.
eat none of it.
Right. Right.
So it's just stupid. It's stupid. And social media makes it 10 times worse because you see all these moms doing all
I
this
think
kind of
you're right.
stuff.
I think that, yeah. And that's again what you had that I really didn't have.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
social media does make it hard. And I did not either, Tammy. Like when I had Kyla, I think the closest thing, I think the year I had her or the year after Twitter came around. That's when I joined Twitter.
Yeah.
And nobody was on Twitter at that point. But like
I still
Yeah.
Instagram was
remember
very new.
MySpace. Didn't we talk about that one
Yeah.
day? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
That
so
was
I
the
mean,
first thing.
it just wasn't huge. Like nobody was doing like huge mommy things. And if it was me because I made these bows and I put them in her hair and then I started selling those bows. So they would go up on my MySpace.
Oh,
And
nice.
but I mean, it wasn't like what you have now. It
Right.
wasn't,
All
No.
competition.
we
And
didn't have
sometimes I
comparison.
feel,
Yeah,
and I still feel that people are living, I wouldn't say everybody, but there's a large portion of people that want to look a certain way, to present themselves a certain way. And sometimes it's necessarily not the case.
for sure.
We've
It's
already
true.
had to like to see now that Blakely's at the age where she's like, oh, well, mommy and daddy's buying this, they're buying that. Oh, we can just buy stuff
Right.
very often, and we go on trips and this and that. So it's there for a little bit. It was becoming I want this, I want. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
baby, you are so much better off than you or your daddy ever was at your age. We
Yep.
had what we needed, but anything extra was not in the
Yeah.
cards. So you are
Live that
very
now.
blessed.
100%.
So
Yeah.
I have to make sure I check myself of like you're a good mom, you are there for them, you are make sure they're alive and well and
Yeah.
And I,
what
like I
have
said,
you. They have everything they need, and we're giving them a different life than what you see on like they have property to run around, they have animals, they have all kind of stuff. They go on all kind of trips. We're fixing to
To be
take them on their
honest,
first cruise,
yeah,
and
but to be honest, Nikki, you are giving them a life that a lot of kids on
yeah,
social media would envy and that they would want
yeah,
to, have that. Because I mean, there's some kids, they do nothing, you know?
mm,
and like I
yep,
said, I think the definition of a good mom varies for each person and your experiences and what you grew
Mhm.
up with compared to what you are now. And
yep,
Yeah.
I think that's where I grew up a certain way, and my kids don't even have a clue about it.
Yeah.
But they grew
hmm,
up very much like
Yeah.
yours, Nikki. It was a different lifestyle. They were able to do sports. They were able to do,
yep.
busy. We kept them doing. It wasn't an
It's like
issue.
I've always heard, or I guess, because my grandparents were fabulous parents to my mom, but there were certain things that she wanted different for me. And she did that. And same thing for me. I want something different for my kids.
Yeah.
So you just
It
kind of,
always want that, right? We
yeah,
always want to do better for our kids.
That's
Exactly.
yeah.
right.
And
That's
it's
right.
not all this frou-frou mess, and it's the, I guess, the quality time and memories for us that,
See, I like
100%.
I like a mashup of it. I want the fruit
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
but I also want the quality time and stuff for
Our
them.
frou-frou stuff is like stuff for the property or our house, or we love going on trips. We take the kids
Yeah.
and go do like day trips and overnight trips kind of stuff.
God
So
bless you, because I remember at that stage it was, don't, I'm gonna, can you, not, don't touch your brother. Stop,
Yeah,
don't.
that age was much
That's
harder.
what we
Yeah.
were at.
Teen years,
Yeah.
the trips are a lot of fun. But
Mine tried to kill each other until they were 18. So those were some fun years. So luckily yours aren't that way.
what
Uh,
about you, Tammy? What's your take on
Um, kind of similar to Kira's, except I grew up kind of, I wouldn't say on my own, but on my own at a young age. So for me, the importance of being there, the importance of
Mhm.
making sure they were protected, that they had
Yep.
stability, always seemed to be my focus versus, I was known as the mama bear because I
Yeah.
was extremely protective when, I probably should have been on the ground playing with them more or doing more. But that was who I was, and I was providing the best I could for them and doing the best that I knew. So
Yeah.
as I grew, as the kids grew up, and I really being in sports, and I do, as you know, have something based on sports, but seeing all that for 12 years, seeing the different relationships with the parents and the kids, seeing what it did to the kids, seeing how adults affected children really made me come to see that in all reality, it's that belief and support in your kids that they need that will get them through life. Because
Absolutely.
I've seen so many kids have zero, you wouldn't believe, have literally zero. And I don't think it's that parents don't, I just don't think they know. Like me, I mean, it was all about protecting, giving stable, stability versus probably those deeper levels, which I didn't really realize until I was in the situation going, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. And you
Yeah.
see what can happen, and you can see what happens if you don't have that closeness. You can see what happens. I mean, it's true when you need one person to believe in you, you need one person, and that really should be your parent. I
Yeah.
mean, can you imagine not having that? And I saw it so much.
And I
So for
see a lot of
me,
kids in sports that parents are
right,
so nasty because they
that
just want them
They
to
are.
achieve. They just
and
want
that's
them to
actually what
achieve.
I'm out there to
Yeah.
change. I'm out there to change the mentality and educate and give tools. But again, I don't think parents necessarily want to be that way. I just don't think they know any better. Like I didn't know any better. And I think kids, parents have sometimes, I guess, that ability to want to live vicariously. You want so much for them. You want them to rock it. And
Me.
sometimes the
Yeah.
expectations are reality. And instead of believing in them, it becomes judgment. It
Yeah.
becomes something else.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Yeah.
what I
Unfortunately, I'm not
saw.
like that, but I do think there's a part of me that goes, I didn't have that experience. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
have it for me,
right.
you know?
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I think it is. So it's not that any parent really, I mean, we all want the best for our kids. I think it's just not knowing. But I've seen kids come through XYZ and I've seen kids never recover. I've
Yeah.
talked to
Yeah.
55-year-old people who've never recovered. I've talked to, I mean, it's for the simple fact that they didn't feel their parents were there for them and they didn't feel that they had a relationship and they truly believe that they didn't have parents to believe in them. So that brings it to, if you don't, where do you think your kid's going to gravitate to?
Yeah, that's right. That is
So
right.
I think it shifted as I got older and I seen the difference and realized my job isn't just protecting and providing and, killing
Mhm.
everybody who tries to mess with my kids. It really comes in
Good.
making sure
Ah,
And it's
I
so
have,
interesting too, like if you actually listen to your kids, they're really telling you what they need
yeah,
instead of,
100%.
because a lot of times, bless her little soul, I love her so much, but Blakely is a watch me, mommy, watch me, watch me, watch me. watch me.
Well, they do that for a long time.
And there for a little bit, I'm like, okay, Blakely, I'm on the phone. I'll be right there and I'll be glad to watch you. I'm like, she really wants me, like my full attention.
Oh, they want the mommy's full attention all the time, 100%. So that
And I'm like,
you'll find
okay,
that
was
shift.
I?
Yeah, you'll have to
So that's
balance.
where I started like shifting. Okay, at certain times of the day, I put my phone down and I'm like totally. But when that's not that time, they know, okay, mommy's working.
Mm,
The
So
expectation.
that's where I was like, okay, she needs that one-on-one. I need your full attention at least
they
for
do.
a little bit. And
Which
that's
is great, which
yeah,
is actually what you're providing,
yeah,
where I felt I was just in protection and care and stability mode, because that's, I guess, what you feel you're missing is what you want to give your kids.
mhm,
So my patience wasn't necessarily always there because that wasn't my focus until you see how, things start to affect. And you can't really see it in yourself, you can see it around you.
You can. When I see a parent down on the football field yelling at their son because they missed something or because they didn't do something right, it breaks my heart for that child. And I'm like,
yes,
that's who I don't want to be.
And you
no,
have so many parents. I've had so many friends of my sons having to play injured.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
were worried about what their parent, their father was going to say, the coach was going to say. I mean, literally, they could have a broken arm and still get up and have to
yeah.
play and just bounce at it just because of that fear. So
mm-mm,
I think it
mhm,
shifts as they get older, and I think you really begin to see, but it's easier to see when you take a step back and you look at others and see how it affects other
1000%.
kids. And then you're like, oh man, I'm screwing up along the line somewhere.
Not doing that.
I might be
Yeah.
doing a little of that myself. So
that's
Back
changing
out
right
now.
now.
exactly. So I wish I knew now what I did when they were
Yeah.
younger and didn't focus on so much of just the, I'll make sure you're protected. I'll make sure you get everything you need. It was so consuming.
Yeah.
It was tiring and it,
It,
really
it can.
engulfed my world.
Yeah. It
I don't
absolutely
regret it. I mean, I regretted, that could have been softer, easier, and, maybe better doing it. But, once you realize and you make sure that relationship is going to be a one that you have to foster on a daily basis versus just keep them alive, feed them, and make sure they're safe.
Well, I'll tell you though, Tammy, you're not done too bad. Your boys are great, you're not done too bad. So
But you
yeah,
don't know what you don't know.
that's
And like
it.
I
You
said,
don't. That's
I
right.
don't think any
You really
parent
do.
wants to do bad for their
Yeah.
children. I think any parent is just what you were brought up with or what you learn as you go. Oh, so let's go to the third and final question. I guess I'll start out with this one. What would the new mom in you think of the seasoned mom in you? Of the seasoned mom that you are today. She'd probably say, you didn't do too bad. And that's about it. They're still
But
alive. You did okay. You got some
Yeah,
smarts and you changed. You moved on. So
yeah.
what you would say. At least
Yeah,
you learned. At least you learned.
yeah, I think it's the same for me. I think it's like, you're doing okay. You're doing all right. Maybe
Okay.
stop spending so much money and stop giving in so much,
Wasn't
but otherwise,
that
you're doing okay.
softy?
They're on the right
Wasn't
track.
that softy?
Stop. I'm telling you, I'm like, these kids are gonna really put me in some serious debt. Like, stop it.
Mama's a
Stop it.
marshmallow.
Yes. So I'm like, okay. But that
Uh-huh.
that would probably be it because I do feel so much gratitude for the path that they're on.
Oh yeah.
Because I see others and I'm like, man, I've done something right.
I
You
do
know?
think, like I
yeah.
said, it
Yeah.
has to do with that relationship.
Yeah.
So,
I think so too.
so
Agreed.
there we go. How about you,
Yeah.
Nikki?
I would think same. Like you did fine. Like you're doing fine. You're not
You're doing
failing
fine.
at anything, or like they're fine.
You're doing
They're truly
okay.
fine.
Exactly. See, well,
As a
look at
new mom, I was like, oh God, like how am I gonna do this? But as soon as Blakely was born, it was just like, why was I freaking out? So I mean, of course you freak out, but not
Mm.
just because you don't know. You have no
you
clue.
don't know.
So,
Right. And like I said, you're scared of any, well, I was
And
scared of any.
after, like a week or two, I'm like,
We'll
Yeah,
get through this. And then the second one comes, you're like, what? Can't, okay, so we're gonna
oh,
do
that
this
one, that
again.
was even
All right,
better.
let's get
One more
going.
time.
Look at that.
Yeah, when Sawyer came around, I'm like, okay, well, I know what I'm doing now. So,
I always tell my kids it may be college, it may be therapy. I'm not sure which one will be more expensive, but we'll take care of it one way or the
Oh,
other.
yeah, no
yeah, then
worries.
you're going to get whatever you need, whatever you want,
Whatever you
whatever.
need. That's exactly it. At least we are giving that whatever they need. The
We're
tools.
learning at every stage, it appears we're learning.
Oh, we're learning.
Now
Oh,
We're-
yeah.
I have a new thing I wanted to add. So let's do
Ooh.
a fireside question. So if there was one thing you could take your children and do today, what would it be? No money. Money's not a limit. Money's not a limit, but it just, I mean, it doesn't need to be a big fancy thing, but one thing you can do with your kids today. Let's go, Kira.
We're going to Japan.
Japan.
We're
Oh,
going to
why
Japan.
Japan?
They want to go so badly. And I mean, it's just been this thing, Japan, Japan, Japan. So my daughter's one of her best friends is in Japan right now, and he's having a blast.
No way.
And yeah, and so I really think I would just take them and I would either do Japan or I would do Germany because I'm from Germany. And so I want to give them that experience and have them be able to see it like where I, came from. So I feel like that would be really impactful for them. But definitely something overseas.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Does it scare you to travel? Travel, I have to tell you, travel's not so fun anymore. But
It's
anyways,
getting scary now.
it is a little scary now, but that sounds like so much fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that would be, that kind of aligned with mine too, because when I was growing up, and no fault of my parents at all, they gave me the best experiences, but I went to Disney World, Myrtle Beach, and Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Those are the only
That was
places.
it. That
Yeah.
was the three things. But for my kids, like I did not start traveling outside of those three until I got married.
Hmm.
So for them, we always go and do, and even if it's just 2 hours from here, we go and do. So my thing would probably be either to try like road trip all of the US
Would you
and
do one
let
of
them
those like Disney cruises? I was always wondering if
I
I
want to
do,
do.
but so that would probably be, since you said no, money's not a problem. So yeah, that would be one thing. Yeah,
Yeah, Disney
definitely
cruise. I would love
Disney.
that
I want
too.
to do the combo like you do 3 days in Disney and I think 3 day cruise. I think you go to their island and you come back. So that
Mhm.
would be something I would want to do.
Ah,
And yeah, so I'd want to take them traveling either here in the US or overseas.
Yeah.
So, but seeing as how my husband won't get on a plane, that might be a problem.
I'll
So
tell you, my husband had never been overseas. I mean, and he went to Ireland. We went to Ireland 2 years ago. Well, last year. And it was a blast. He loved it. He keeps talking about Ireland, wanting to go back to Ireland. I'm like, no, you got to try something new.
yeah.
Like,
yeah,
yeah, you have
Yeah.
to try
I had my
something
son,
new.
not my son, my husband, I finally convinced when I went to Scotland, I had him go with me. And the same thing, he had a good time.
Yeah,
I can't say I'm a big travel of 12 to 17 hours of being an employee, but it was fun though.
it's fun.
We
It's fun
got
once you
over
get there.
there.
You just got to get there first.
I'm there.
yeah.
Yeah, totally get it.
I would
And
just
I
like to go to
think,
Hawaii. That would
Oh,
be on my bucket list.
yeah, me too. I've never been to Hawaii. Yeah.
My mom has, but I haven't.
I think to be honest, it still astonishes me. I think I told you that I had rented a little, a little hut on the Outer Banks,
Yeah,
and then I
your
thought,
400 square foot
my
hut.
one son might want to come who serves. He came, brought his girlfriend, and then my other son wanted to come, and every time we go somewhere, they love to vacation with us, which is pretty astonishing
Nice.
at the ages of 20 and 23. So
It
honestly,
is.
there with them with us is pretty cool. I mean, they tend to go
Yeah,
out and do their own thing and have a good time, and and they definitely spend time with us. But it's pretty cool that your kids still want a vacation with you. So really is.
Yes.
that's
I
what
think
we
that's
do
pretty
with
cool
my
too.
parents. My
Yeah.
parents go with us every year on our vacation. So they're going on a cruise with us.
Yeah, we used to do the same thing. My parents would rent a house up at St. George Island and we'd go and we'd I'll stay. And it was really nice to just be as a
That's
family.
what I'm saying. Is it, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
they don't feel made to go. Like I remember feeling like I had to go and all this
Uh-huh.
kind of stuff. To have them want to go is pretty cool. So
I love that.
yeah,
That's
so
I think you
awesome.
didn't do it, Tammy. You made it.
yeah. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Well, see, a few more. Come on,
I'm gonna
come
make it
on,
to
come on,
Japan. We're gonna
come on. Look at
fix
it.
whatever's
There we
happening
go.
and make it to
So that
Japan.
maybe that's our goal for the year. Another vacation with family, Japan, and Disney World.
That's
We'll,
right.
we'll have to mark it down and see when
Oh,
it
we're
actually.
going to
I'll find
Disney
you some
World next year.
discounts,
I'm
Nikki. You know
already
I live
planning
in
that.
Disney World.
Yeah,
I live in Disney, so
I met people in New York yesterday, and actually one was Sammy, and she said, "We had such a great time. Let's figure out what we can do." I says, "Well, why don't we do a destination? Like
yes.
once a year, meet halfway somewhere
Yeah,
new,
because didn't
without
she
the
come see
guys,
you
just
last
the
year?
girls. That's a fun thing, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
So we could
What
do
is
the
that
same
called, Keira?
thing, huh?
You've done them before, Keira. What is it called?
Which
What?
one?
Like where your team meets up.
Oh, the retreats?
Oh yeah, the
Yes.
retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Or even like quarterly or yearly planning, like a yearly planning where the whole team gets together and they're at some house on the beach or whatever. I
That's what
mean,
I say we do. That's
yeah,
what I say. We can even make Savannah's like what, 4 hours from how far? Yeah,
I
that's
love Savannah.
4 hours
Yeah.
from
And
me.
Savannah's like
Yeah.
I'm
3.
gonna send you guys this Airbnb in Savannah. We gotta rent it and
That's
go.
what we gotta do.
Yeah.
See? All right. It's actually
See, and I
recorded.
like Savannah too. That's where my sister-in-law used to live. Um,
Thing, no kids.
Yeah.
huh?
Husbands can come.
Oh
No
no,
kids.
no, 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 no. No, and
We're
I
just
had
the
never been
girls, but
before.
definitely no
No,
children.
and I had never been before, and I had no clue how similar it was to Charleston.
What, Savannah?
Savannah?
Mhm.
It is pretty similar. However, you have a kind of, I don't know, I feel it's almost a deeper history and a little bit more
Yeah,
spooky.
And I was gonna say it's literally like an all the time ghost tour.
Yeah.
I
yes.
I'm good
love
with
it.
that stuff. I'm good with
I
that.
love it. I stayed on
Uh-huh.
the riverfront for St. Patrick's Day, and oh my gosh,
Please tell me you didn't get in the river.
I
Yeah.
did not. But I've got to tell you, that was why I thought, okay, we're going for this parade because my daughter was marching in the parade, and I thought, oh, fun, great time. It's a party. There's no like real parade. It's a street party that happens. So if you ever want to have a good time, go to Savannah St. Patrick's Day.
Uh,
Dublin is even better for St. Patrick's Day,
oh,
but
I'm
it was wild.
sure. Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure. But
I
I
Hubby
that was
about got
one of the
arrested
best
in
experiences.
Savannah for St. Patty's Day
Yeah, it was
long time ago.
crazy.
have a
It's fun.
story.
It's a good time.
He jumped into the river.
Who did?
My husband.
Okay,
And it was
so
great.
husbands are not allowed to come. There we go. Your husband's not allowed to come.
We
So
don't want
that's
to fish any men out.
that's where we draw the line.
If I plop my butt on a
That's
beach
okay.
somewhere, I'm good.
Would be the person that ends up on our true podcast crime show here. That's what
He
you'd
would.
you'd be the one.
He would.
But
But speaking of that, we've made it through the podcast
and nobody
without
died.
any true crime needed
Kira
to come.
was the closest, I think.
Probably
What's
a
that?
little bit close. Well, your husband in the river, but also,
Yeah.
just driving to girls' houses because they threatened my daughter. That was, yeah,
Doing what?
a little true
Oh yeah.
crime. That's it.
Ah, not too
No,
bad.
no blood was shed. So
Blood was shed.
Nobody was injured. Nobody was hurt. Maybe
that's
just a
right.
little bit threatened, but that was about it.
That's
There
right.
will be though. I feel it coming.
I
Within the
feel
year,
it.
we're gonna have a true crime. I know it's gonna come up there.
I think so too.
We'll have to figure out the mystery. Anyways, this has been a blast. Next week,
Yeah.
we will maybe delve into some business topics since we did the mommy topics today. And it
Yes,
is great to be able to kind of talk about these different stages because I do think it's helpful. I think it's helpful for, younger, not so young, and those in the middle. I think it gives all of us insight in how we can help each other.
absolutely.
Yes, I am the oldest, so I'll go ahead and say it, Kira. I wasn't pointing at you. It's me. I promise. I wasn't pointing at you. You look too young anyways.
I own it. I own it.
So I'm
Be
looking
sure to check
forward.
out the new Instagram account. Women
Yes.
Talk
Yes,
Fierce is
do
on
tell us
Instagram.
about that's Nikki is our social media wonder, and Kira is the woman who designs these fabulous websites, landing pages, and all that go with it. So
Yes, yes,
if you
yes,
two would
yes.
like to go ahead and give a little shout out to what you're doing, that would be great.
Yeah.
Nikki.
Okay, how about you, Nikki,
So
first?
okay. I do project and social media for business owners who are looking to scale, whether it's through their social media or projects that they're doing, or adding some team members on with their new business
Well, what have
idea.
you done for us? You have done network. You're working on the
I
net.
have, and
Yes,
I've
a list
done
of stuff.
influencer kits, I've done graphics, social media, setting all that good jazz up, copyright.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Outreach.
Yeah. And she recently set up the new Instagram account, Women Talk Fierce.
Yeah.
At Women Talk Fierce. So make sure to follow that.
Yes.
And you can also check out the website, Women Talk Fierce. That's what Tammy was saying. I set that one up. Very, very proud of that.
Love that.
And to
She
join
did a
our
fabulous
network.
job with Wicked too. If you haven't had a chance to see the Wicked site, she had done.
Yes,
Yeah.
wickedfitness.net. We have multiple groups. There's a networking group, and then there's also a membership for women like you who are, ready to shake some things up.
I will say, I'll give a heads up though, those who are looking to join as far as influencers, the doors only open once a year. So we will be shutting them as of July, and we'll catch you next year and let you know when it's open. So if you're interested, be sure to reach out. If not, we'll catch you on the flip side. But I'm looking forward to next week. This is always so much fun. This is the highlight of my week. There is no
And it's
script.
so funny. It's just our typical conversations, just recorded.
You never know. Next time we'll have cows. We'll have, we'll just
You
go
never
through.
know.
You never know.
Signing out from the crew at Wicked Fierce Talk or Wicked Talk Fierce, however you want to say
Women Talk Fierce.
it. There's
We're
an
women, we're wicked, and we talk fierce.
There's an abbreviation in there somewhere.
There's a
Figure it
combo
out.
of some
I'll let you
sort.
figure it out. But all right, ladies, great to see you. Catch up next week.